There was a time when video game boxes weren't just packaging, they were promises. And do you remember the feeling of picking up a brand new Game Boy cartridge, holding that tiny cardboard box in your hands, flipping it over, soaking in the art? Back then, before trailers and gameplay videos were a click away, the box art did all the talking. It sparked your imagination, told you a story, and sometimes straight up lied to your face. Today, we are looking back at some of the greatest cover art from the Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and Game Gear. This is the lost art of video game box art, and these are the covers that lit our imaginations on fire and made our best memories from our childhood. In the 90s, box art was your first and often only clue about what a game was. No YouTube reviews, no Metacritic, no demo downloads. You had a name, a handful of screenshots on the back, and a glorious cover art. Developers knew this. Artists knew this as well. That's why they pulled out all the stops, from hand-painted fantasy scenes to action-packed illustrations. It was marketing, yes, but also a kind of art. And the goal was to spark your imagination enough to spend your birthday money. That front sold the fantasy, but the back sealed the deal. A few screenshots, a dramatic tagline, a paragraph promising adventure. Only you can stop the invasion. Face your fears. The fate of the galaxy is in your hands. And let's not forget the manuals. Sometimes 30 pages long, full of lore, character bios, even world maps. It all came together to create something games today often lack: mystic. Many of the box covers weren't done by the game developers themselves, but by freelance illustrators, actual painters. Artists like Tom Dubois, sorry for my French, who created some of the most iconic Konami covers on SNES, like Contra 3 and Castlevania 4. Greg Winters, who gave us intense Sega and Capcom covers with bulging muscles and giant explosions. These weren't just product shots, these were canvases. Let's start the box art reviews with the Game Boy and with the first Super Mario Land game. This is a wild ride of a cover, Mario flying through pyramids, dodging torpedoes, and punching a sphinx in the mouth. It's chaotic, colorful, and totally unlike what you expect from a Mario game. But that's what made it magical. It promised the unknown, a strange, adventurous take on Mario for a new handheld era. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. This was my very first Game Boy game actually. This cover is more polished and confident. This cover feels Mario exploded into a toy box. It introduced Wario, a weird and greedy anti-Mario, and set the tone for something bigger than before. Each element on the box is a teaser of the bizarre worlds inside, and it's hard not to stare at every tiny detail. Castlevania: The Adventure. A moody, brooding scheme drenched in classic gothic horror. The lone hero, whip in hand, stands before Dracula's castle, a timeless showdown between man and monster. The muted colors, the stormy sky, it whispered danger and darkness, even on a tiny Game Boy screen. Unlike most RPGs, this cover is minimalist. No characters, no explosions, just a sword and a strange glowing. It's mysterious and noble, evoking a tale of destiny, ancient magic, and sacrifice. You didn't know what the journey would be, and that's what made it irresistible. Mega Man 5. Now this is action. Mega Man leaps toward the viewer, buster blazing, surrounded by cosmic robot foes. The colors are pure 90s energy, hot blues, bright purples, electric sparks. This wasn't just another sequel, it was an event, and the box screamed that with style. Let's continue with the Super Nintendo, and with Super Mario All-Stars. A carnival of Mario nostalgia. The gold stars, the treasure chests, the top hat, this cover says celebration. It's chaotic but fun, cramming 4 classic adventures into a single sparkly spectacle. Like a Vegas magician hosting a Nintendo party, and you are invited. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Understated, iconic, powerful. A solid gold background with a master sword and shield speaks volumes without shouting. It doesn't need action, it knows it's legendary. This is high fantasy at its most refined. Donkey Kong Country, a jungle gem full of energy. Pre-rendered characters swing into a frame with style. Donkey, Diddy, even the villains all share a spot like like a movie poster for a blockbuster platformer. You can almost hear the bongo beats just by looking at it. Street Fighter 2, a clash of titans, cooked meat punch. This box feels loud. Neon sparks, exaggerated poses, sweat flying everywhere. It's a freeze frame of chaos promising the same arcade level intensity in your living room. Super Metroid. This is sci-fi drama at its finest. Samus Middle, blasting Ridley, is cinematic, foreboding and grand. The color palette of red, orange and violet bleeds alien dread. Cover that says, this isn't just a game, this is a mission. Let's continue with the rival, the Sega Genesis. Do you remember? Sega does what Nintendo don't. This is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sonic's smirk, Tails' enthusiasm, and a giant title, pure confidence. It's sharp, bright and stylish, just like the game. This wasn't just a sequel, it was a Genesis flexing its muscles, a clear rivalry with Mario. Mortal Kombat. Now this is minimalism with minis. No characters, no blood, just a logo, and that's all it needed. This box didn't need to shout, it just glared at you, and you knew exactly what it is. Streets of Rage 2. A gritty action movie frozen in time. Muscle-bound heroes, flying kicks, urban decay, every pixel painted with 90s attitude. You could practically smell the street food and see the sea art aesthetic. Altered Beast. Body horror meets might. The man-beast transformation is the moment, raw, unsettling, unforgettable. The muted tones and ancient lettering make it feels like a cursed VHS from a forbidden temple. Rise from your grave has never looked more intense. Echo the Dolphin. The waves, the soft blues, the intelligent eyes of Echo. This isn't your average animal mascot. The cover invites wonder, curiosity, even loneliness. It feels like a game and more like a might whisper through ocean currents. And last but not least, Sega's handheld competitor, the Game Gear. This is Sonic the Hedgehog, shrunk down but still full of attitude. Sonic's signature finger wag and checkerboard chaos still pop even in the handheld form. It's like a miniature poster for pure speed. Shining Force, the Sword of Haya. The classic fantasy adventure in a tight frame. Swords glowing, capes flowing, everything a 90s kid needed to feel heroic. The Game Gear screen was small, but this cover made the world feel big. Sonic Chaos. Loops, springs and chaos emeralds bursting with color. Tails soars, Sonic spins, and everything screams movement. It's joyful madness, and it fits perfectly in your pocket. So why we miss this era and the box art of the 90s? Because it wasn't just about selling you a game, it was about inviting you into a world. It was bold, it was weird, it was sometimes way off base, but that's what made it magical. We didn't just play these games, we dreamed about them, long before we ever pressed start. I remember seeing some games in the store and I thought about them for a long time, waited for Christmas or my birthday. And for many of us, those cardboard boxes, those little painted lies are what made the 90s truly unforgettable. So what happened? As time passed, digital sales grew, physical boxes started fading away. And when they did exist, publishers played it safe. Character close-ups, clean logos, maybe a cinematic pose. The era of wild creativity gave way to branding guidelines and market research. It makes sense, but something was lost. These weren't just covers, they were invitations. A promise that behind the cardboard waited words of danger, adventure, or speed. Today's games might look better, but they lost the art of imagination at first glance. Let's never forget the magic these covers gave us, when a simple picture was all it took to dream. I hope that you enjoyed this time travel back to the golden era of gaming. If you're not a member of our retro gaming community, join us by subscribing. Also, the YouTube algorithm shows some videos for you. It is on the screen now, check them out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next Backlog Quest video.